Did you get a message from Eric?
Welcome everyone to the South Village Council meeting. Today is Monday, August 12th. Please rise, put your hand over your heart, and join us in our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. The officer will take the roll.
Canton.
Here.
Kavanaugh. Here. Kaluki.
Here.
Porter.
Here.
Dahl.
Here.
Berger.
Here.
Okay, we have minutes of the special council meeting that occurred on Thursday, August the 8th, 8 a.m. Any changes or corrections to those minutes? Move to approve. Move to approve by Porter, seconded by Canton. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, minutes are approved. We have minutes of our regular council meeting, which was preceded by the tax budget hearing. This is the council meeting on July the 8th. Any changes or corrections in those minutes? Hearing none, may I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Phil, seconded by
So moved.
Canton. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, minutes are passed.
Do I have to abstain if I wasn't here?
No.
Okay.
No, you don't have to. Okay, we have visitors tonight. Kelly Estes is here, Sherry Slosh is on her way. Here's how we do visitors. We ask for your name and address, ask you please stand, give you 5 minutes. After 3 minutes, I'll give you a little 2-minute warning, and then we probably won't respond much to what you're going to say. We'll get back in touch with you once we talk, informally, or just say, we're going to send this to a particular committee. So Kelly, the floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me. I'm at 26 Kimberwick Court. I'm going to read some notes just to make sure I get my facts straight, if that's okay. So myself, along with Carrie Schloss, are excited to announce the formation of a committee to gather interested individuals from our community to discuss and organize a process for safe pedestrian and bicycle transportation in South Russell Village. We've called this committee the Mayor's Committee for Safe Bicycle and Pedestrian Transport. We're proposing a first meeting Friday, August 30th at 8 a.m. here at Village Hall. And we're hoping that anyone from the community who is interested is encouraged to attend. We're hopeful to have the council's support in this mission to represent the voices of the community on this important topic.
Questions of Kelly?
It's very general. Can you break it out in another?
Sure. We have some duties described if you would like to hear some general goals of the committee. Would that be useful? Sure. So we have number 1 is developing a safe bicycle and pedestrian access plan. Number 2 is engaging and learning from the community about bicycle and pedestrian safety needs. Number 3 is making recommendations to the village council on the selection of bicycle and pedestrian projects to be submitted for state and federal funding opportunities. Number 4 is working with staff to promote bicycling and walking as safe and healthy modes of transportation, including safe routes to schools. And number 5 is assisting staff in the planning, operations, and maintenance of bicycle and pedestrian facilities in the village.
The meeting against August 30th, at what time?
8 a.m.
Thank you. Right here.
right here.
We have to check the calendar.
Are you talking about, oh, there we go. Are you talking about sidewalks?
We're not talking about sidewalks.
Okay, Carrie, Carrie Schloss, with your address,
Yes, 290 Hickory Hill Road.
and we're just in the middle of just talking about this, basically announcing it's going to be a committee. Now, the way we did the park committee, we were informal for probably a few years, I think. What we need to do, solicitors come to you once this committee kind of knows what they're doing, and if the village does or does not want to, I don't know.
Take it on formally as like an ad hoc committee?
Yes, yeah, we would form an ad hoc committee. Okay, that's what we do. We have 5 or 6 people that are what we call the park committee. And then we go to them and talk to them and get advice as to what they want to do. All right, Carrie, anything you'd like to say? You rode all the way up here.
Well, sorry I'm late. Thank you for hearing about the committee. We're really excited to really hear what the community is looking for and really try and reflect that with all of you. And see if we can have more safe pedestrian and bike access in this town. We're avid bikers, we bike with our kids, and we see people out all the time, and we love to hear where their voices are and their ideas and bring them back to you all.
All right, thank you very much. It's a good start. You're welcome to stay. This is also the time when you can head on home if you'd like to. So please, and we'll be in touch. All right?
Thank
Thanks
you.
a lot.
Thanks.
Okay. I'll let Mrs. Gavin Deddy's the reporter. So, well, did you want to speak tonight?
I've never had this time.
Okay. Most important thing, or one of the big things we want to do, we have, this will be our last official meeting for our street commissioner. I've already informed him that I'll be bringing him back for a little bit of an activity later on. The process, we looked at 13 applicants. We received 13 applications for the job of street commissioner. The HR and the street committee interviewed 3 people. 2 finalists came to the final interview on Monday morning. There was a large group of people. We met and interviewed the 2. Council met on Thursday morning, decided to make an offer to Tim Young. Process has slowed down tremendously. Monday night, Tim's son was in a accident, and Tim has been basically spending the last week at University Hospitals. So, in fact, in a 3-way call with Tim and I and Tim this morning, they're going to get together and talk. And I said I won't be making any other conversations with him. If he wants to talk to me, he initiates it. So we're just going to work through this process. But I think everything is going to be okay. So at this time, I would like council to pass a motion to appoint Tim Young as the new street commissioner. This should probably come from the street committee.
I can't.
I think it would be your appointment, mayor and
I think the
council.
mayor makes the appointment and then
Okay.
council can affirm, or-
I see.
and then
Yes.
We should do
Start
the pay rate and
streets.
the effective date.
Okay. So I would like to appoint Tim Young as the new street commissioner. You need an effective date because that's kind of rare. We talked today was going to be August 26th.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll put it August
You know,
26th.
subject to change, but
Subject to
also pending the testing that has to be done.
screening.
Yeah, the drug screening. Okay, that's the appointment. Chris, as
What's
street
the salary is 93?
salaries,
815 brings
Gonna
it
be
down.
93,815. It will be a little less, it'll be about 89 something. It'll be 5% less for the first 6 months.
Probationary period. Okay, on behalf of the Streets Committee, I'd like to make a motion to confirm the mayor's appointment of Tim Young as the new Streets Commissioner for South Russell Village at a salary of $93,815 annually after his probationary period, effective August 26, 2024, with subject to change. That date is subject to change per personal matters. So moved.
Yeah.
A successful drug.
And pending a successful background screen and drug screening.
Second.
Discussion.
Question for you, Mayor. You know, I assume that because we're going forward with the appointment, he has said he's happy with the salary.
Yes.
And that he's being interested in the job.
Yes.
Okay.
He hasn't signed anything yet.
No, but
Yes.
he said, hey, I'd like to have a job.
Yes, he said he would accept, yes.
Great.
Yeah. Any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you.
Mayor, I have one correction from something you said before. We didn't interview 3 people. We interviewed 5.
You know, I scratched that out. I had down here 5 to, oh, maybe you took 5 down to 3. Is that what you guys did?
We interviewed 5 and we recommended that you consider 3 recommendations.
Okay. So it was 5 to 3. Thank you. Okay, first of all, Danielle, thanks. She put in your packets something that came from the Ohio Municipal League on taxes. And the new study, the Chamber of Commerce did a study on income tax. Basically deals with income tax collection. And at our mayor's meeting last Thursday morning, it was described as a shot across the bow from the state legislature and the Chamber of Commerce, saying they're going to come after income tax collection again. And Danielle, you may know, and you may want to jump in after I'm done talking about this. But they think something's coming. It will start in fall. So the mayors got together and said, we need to get organized. We need to get ready for this. So if you get a chance, if you haven't had a chance to read what came from the Ohio Municipal League, it's coming about the state would take over a collection of income tax. State revenue is a little low. I have some other numbers I'll give to the finance committee about that. Okay, tomorrow morning, this will be, I told the chief, will be round 3 of the Chagrin Valley Dispatch, trying to determine the proper billing formula so that dispatch services will continue. It's trying to equalize some of the things that probably should have been caught a few earlier, but they haven't. And now we're looking at maybe an $8,000 increase. Some communities are looking at hundreds of thousands of dollars of increase. So that's going to be a problem. So we'll keep working on this. Another compliment.
Question, Mayor
Yes.
and Chief. Do they base that on calls or on population?
You know, the formula that they're using now for this upcoming meeting is scrambled eggs. I don't know what they're using, how they're using it. It was based on how many police agencies are in a channel, how much your call volume was, how many minutes of actual push-to-talk airtime. So there are so many different variables in these different methods. I don't know where they've landed at this point.
Okay.
It seems really complicated.
It
It's
does.
complex.
Question. At the last council meeting, we as council approved an increase. So has the formula changed such that the increase that we approved is not the increase we're going to get, or we don't know yet?
I don't recall what we,
didn't approve any increase, it was just discussion about it would be going up next year, and we would have to get a confirmation
I thought
on
we-
it with the budget.
I thought we had to approve for vote the following day. Or am I totally?
yeah, I believe we had a set of numbers for what our potential amount was going to be, and at that meeting, it got rejected. So
Okay, so, all
back to
right,
square one.
so you're gonna have a meeting tomorrow and then come back to us in September with new numbers?
I hope, yes.
Okay, all right, thank you.
And Chief, thanks for going. I heard it was one of the more interesting meetings, we'll call it. It had a couple hours long.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of emotion.
Discussion, yeah.
Another compliment goes out to Tammy Most. Danielle, she works for the auditor.
She's a deputy auditor.
Deputy auditor. The ESIP process got all slowed down quite a bit, and we couldn't get any information. So Tammy jumped in and got McDonald Hopkins going. So she deserves a pat on the back for what she's been able to do. What's happening is the Manor Brook HOA, which is different from your area, they did a ESIP where they improved their property. It's still being done. So their deadlines were passed, the money, some issues with all the money. They did assess themselves, and that money's been collected, but they I don't know, can't seem to get the project to finish, and they needed some help from the ESID, and Tammy got this process going, so.
Mayor, can I just chime in on that, just because of that email you had going back and forth with them? I did speak to Kevin Butler from McDonald Hopkins today. Manor Brook did the project in sometime between the fall of 23 and middle of January of 24. They asked McDonald Hopkins not to seek funding for them because the rates were too high. They were going to wait until rates went down. They went ahead and did the work on their own, and they have not gotten back to McDonald Hopkins to include them in any funding. So right now, they've paid the expense. We assume they paid the expense, and there's nothing for me to give to the county to certify this on their tax assessment bill. So, and they won't have, even if they choose to have McDonald Hopkins get funding for them, it won't be done in time to be given to the county auditor by the September 9th deadline, which is set in the ORC. So if anything, it will go to the county next September. But as of now, they've gotten no funding, and it's not on their tax bill. They've paid for it, we presume, out of pocket.
What they're basically were doing after 40 years, the swales and the ditches pretty much had flattened out. So they were getting all this standing water. So they just were going in, creating new swales, new ditches. But like with any project, it got out of hand.
So the ESID was approved, but it's not being used.
Our village approved it, but they asked them not to seek the funding for them because the rates were high. So they were trying to wait for rates to go down.
It sounds likely they may just forego the ESID.
They may, I mean, McDonald Hopkins haven't heard anything from them requesting any funding for the project. So he assumes if the project was done, that they paid for it themselves. They can reimburse themselves, but we don't know for how long that will hold up. He thinks according to the resolution council gave them that if they chose to get funding to pay themselves back next year, that would be okay. But they're still looking at that piece of it, but they haven't heard from them at all about getting the funding and looking, seeking the funding out. So for now, there's nothing for the village to do, because once they would get the funding, then the bank would give me the assessment for me to give it certified for the auditor. So there's nothing for us to do on that this year.
Okay, thank you.
You can see there was some communication breakdown between the Manor Brook HOA and McDonald Hopkins. Okay, next thing, First Energy. Luckily for us, I think Tim knows more. I saw him out the night the storm came through. Our representative, Dean Hain, and I know the chief is in contact with him. We were very lucky. Other communities really got hit hard. But I want to give them a compliment and give Dean a compliment. The communication just kept coming and coming and coming. And the number of people in South Russell who were without power got less and less and less. So they did a very nice job of getting things done. Tim, how much did I knew you were out Thursday night in the rain, and what else did we have to deal with? A few
Just
trees?
a couple of trees, that was it. And then there was a large tree, part of a tree broke off into the primary and secondary and communication wires on Daisy Lane. That took a little while to get cleaned up because there was miscommunication about what was wrong. Once they got straightened out, it was cleaned up the next day.
Chief, any comments? We were lucky.
Yeah, we were pretty lucky. The winds were pretty substantial, but we didn't have any major down trees. A lot of debris in the road, that was about it. Tim came out to clear some debris out of the road, but overall damage, injuries, nothing.
There's a meeting, it's a legal notice, the undivided local government fund distribution. They're having a meeting to explain this next Monday morning at 9 o'clock. We get a little over 55,000. Danielle, do you have any issues with undivided local government funds?
I believe it's going to be less than last year. That's the day of our tax budget hearing, so I believe they'll discuss it at that point, because they certify what we're going to get.
Okay. The other thing, the mayor's met last week. We had a great presentation on cybersecurity, and a very serious topic. There were a lot of laughs. It's just amazing what some people do or don't do. I did see, we got a notice today from the Ohio Township Association. There's $20,000 grants available. I don't know about them. We just got it today, but I think there's more money out there. Chief, we could talk later if there's something we really want to get into, or you've had enough for a while.
As far as grants?
Grants, no. Grants are okay.
We're in the process of working on one through the Ohio Budget Commission. Leslie, the chief, and I are trying to put it together. We may qualify for mitigating over to EDP for services. So between the three of us, we're trying to work through it to apply for that grant.
Is this similar to the one we just saw today?
I didn't see the one from today. I'm assuming it is because this is from the state.
Yeah. Okay, our Boy Scout who's mapped the park and the trails, Jake Evans, he started his, relocated his coast, so he's about ready to put his map in. Jack Overman has completed his project. It's on display right next to Charlie Simperman's project. It's very colorful. The wetlands construction is going. I guess Councilman Cannon could say we agree. It looks terrible right now. It looks so bad. We met with Davey Tree, Tim, and they're going to put up some signs that will go up near the wetlands, kind of explaining to people the trees that we shoved into the ground are there for birds to perch on. They're not trees that we planted. So they're going to try to have the new trees that went around the wetlands be in the ground before the fall festival. But Dave even came up and said, we're going to put some signs up because you don't need all this headache and hassle. The mowing of the park started yesterday morning. I would imagine that probably will be done by tomorrow afternoon, depending on the weather. Rolling Ridge HOA would like to discontinue. So I met with them, met with the solicitor, and her comment was there are HOA lawyers that handle this, so it'll be up to Rolling Ridge HOA to do whatever they want to do. What they're looking at, for example, our entrance, which is on East Washington, they spend $2,200 a year on lighting, and I don't know if they're going to ask the village to do it, but we'll wait and see if it comes our way. But you may hear about that. Had 2 meetings with the people about the Knox box. Knox box is that little box about this size. It's outside a business door. It has a key to your door. It's there for the fire department. 2 people in one of the shops, the jeweler and the antique dealer, had questions about it. Sean Davis, the fire prevention officer, met with them. He suggested I go visit with them. They're okay, and they were good. They didn't want to give a key out, but as I said, if it's a fire, they're going to knock my door down anyway. So they're all on board with that. Mark and I wasted last Thursday. We went up to Russell Township and said, we're going to ask you for $23,000, and they said, well, we haven't heard from the county, and we deal with the county engineer, so come back with some information. So we will get some information through the county engineer for Russell Township, but it should not be an issue. Anything else you want to say?
Well, I thought I'd ask Eric about his involvement with the county engineer on this topic, and I think you had conversations about funding, but Russell wants to see plans and costs before they consider approving half of the net.
Right, it's the horse and the cart thing.
Yes.
We requested funding through OPWC to replace stormwater road crossing culvert. That's the amount of work that goes into those requests is, let's say, a medium level. But we kind of have to flesh out what we want to do, why we want to do it, and give all the supporting information as to why we're asking for this grant money. Do we have to have all of our plans and specs and all the project particulars done at the time of the request? No. Are those done right now? No. We don't go ahead and do a full design and then ask for money because the village may not choose to go forward with the project for an OPWC ask if we don't get funding for the project. So we don't front load by completing all the plans and specs and survey and right of way and all stuff that goes into plan sets until the village says, okay, thanks, you helped us get some money, and yeah, go ahead and do that. So if they're looking for a full plan set, then no, we don't have it, and unless the village sees otherwise, I don't intend to do that until we actually have a commitment that we're gonna give them money.
When will we know about the money? Approximately?
Soon. It's OPWC, and they have an integrating committee that they go through, and then they have a final selection committee, and they don't publish those timelines. So I don't know. But it's typically, soon, before fall.
August, September?
Sure, September is a good time. We generally get a good read from OPWC by or in September. So that's when we'll know.
And this project has to be done after July 1st?
The project can't be started, and the project can't even be awarded until after July 1st of 2025.
So we really have nothing to give Russell at this point, other than heads up that we may be coming back in the future with our request.
You know, walking in with one of the township trustees, says, why are you here? We're not giving you any more money. I thought we already had the money. So I think the decision's been made. It's play the paperwork game.
They've indicated they are supportive, but they want an actual dollar figure in order to.
Yeah, right now all we have is an estimate.
Yes.
So
at the Thursday meeting that I'm supposed to go to, I'll just let them know these two things. We don't have the OPC money yet.
Right, we don't
We
have a
won't
commitment.
know the cost until we do or don't.
We won't know the true cost until after July 1st, 2025, when we can award the project. We can't even select the bidder and award the project until after July 1st, 2025.
So if council's okay with it, I'll tell Russell these things, and that we'll be back after the 4th of July next summer.
Yes.
Okay.
But an addendum on that would be if we fix our end, they'd be in a mess because.
We can't just fix our end. You might as well not do the project if you're just gonna fix our end. You have to go across the whole road. You can't just go across half the road and say, okay, we're done. You might as well not have done it.
Unless you drill down about 5,000.
project, so.
Okay.
Anyhow, it's nice to see we have our ducks in order. One other comment about that meeting, just something to think about. We all have to watch, or some of you have watched the fraud video. They started their meeting with that. They had everybody there. Let's watch the fraud video, get it over, done with. Could be something to think about if we have to do this again.
Well, that took like 7 minutes, didn't it?
Yeah, it's about 8 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was just boom, over, done with.
It was really like the 10 Commandments, don't steal, don't take any gifts, blah, blah.
Okay, that's it for the mayor's report. Questions of the mayor? Fiscal officer, you're up.
I distributed my report to mayor and council. I did want to point out the issue with CrowdStrike, the worldwide issue. I just want everybody to know that ADP really was on top of that issue, and their workers went in the middle of the night to start fixing the problem, and we only had one computer in the village that was affected, and they were here by 11 a.m. and had that fixed. So that worked well. I was impressed with that, and they start texting me at 4 a.m, letting me know if things were under control, so I appreciated that. The other thing is, for this corner lot, we applied to get it made tax exempt. I did get notified from the state last week asking for a revised certification from the county treasurer that the taxes have been paid for the year, so I did submit that to them. I do think, when we were talking to ADP, Chuck Walder had told us that we should probably, the easier way to do it now would probably be to combine the properties, adding that piece into what's already tax exempt, but we chose to go with making it tax exempt first. So hopefully that will get made tax exempt. If not, then we do have another option. So I know they're becoming more and more strict on exempting properties, so we'll see. But I don't have any final decision on that, just that they needed a revised certificate, so I sent that to them. And in your council packets today on the agenda are 2 more pieces of legislation, one for the, using the parking lot at Gurney for the Fall Festival, as well as using the 1 vendor for the entertainment. And then was in contact with Libby today regarding the transportation to and from the event. There's no agreement for that. They are requiring a $175 deposit, but if it's ringed out, they would apply it to the following year, which they've done in the past. So that's all in order. And then articles, we're requesting to get the articles soon before our last hard copy newsletter. And then we have some good articles already to go in there, but anything.
What's your date for that?
It was in my report. August 29th, because with the holiday coming up and then the Fall Festival, we want to get everything in there.
Okay. I did have one question on the ADP, and it's probably because I didn't listen well enough. The, whatever it was, $38,000, that's just this year, or that's every year? That's the migration, like,
Oh, for the invoice?
yeah.
I think the annual cost is gonna be like 14,000, I believe, something like that. And then we're hoping to get a grant for part of that, sorry.
Questions of the fiscal officer? All right, DTE 23, Danielle,
That's what I was just talking about, the tax exempt, sorry.
okay. Finance Committee, you're up.
Thank you, Mayor. Finance Committee will meet Thursday, the 15th at 10 a.m. At this point, I'd like to make a motion to hold the budget work session on October 7th, 2024. Don't we start that at 5:30 or?
We used to, years past, we started at 5:30 because we would go till 10 or 11 at night. But the last couple of years, it's only been taking like an hour or 2. So I don't know if you want to start at 5:30 or just want to start at 7.
On October what?
October 7th, 2024. At what time?
I like 5:30 myself, but some people may find it difficult to get there.
Is that tough for you?
Please check.
We don't feed us anymore, do we?
We do, but we don't have a meeting while we're eating.
Okay, 5:30 PM it is.
Second.
And can we include food?
It's already in the agenda.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes. Thanks, Chris.
Thank you. Also, make a motion at this time to approve the purchase of a laptop for the chief, estimated at $1,600.
Second.
Discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay,
I didn't get anything back from anybody on Adobe.
okay, all right, well, let me go, I have a credit card report here. Do we need a motion to approve that?
Yeah.
Okay, so in your packet, there was a credit card report. So at this point in time, I'd like to make a motion to have council approve the credit card report of August 12th, 2024.
Second.
Discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes.
Thank you. Okay, so with the Adobe agreement, just so we're all up to date here, Adobe obviously software program that we use, we need to use. To sign an agreement with them, it's a 38-page document, something of that nature, which includes an indemnification clause, which we cannot provide to them. So there have been several suggestions as to how to get around that. And I'll leave it to the solicitor to offer a recommendation to council.
Sure. Do you want to wait to hear from the prosecutor or?
I think we need to move
Sure.
forward.
So we could, I mean, listen, we could always, I guess, reach out to Adobe and just say, listen, we cannot indemnify per Ohio law, we need to make this change. The chances of getting responded to by Adobe is slim. We didn't even get responded to by the United States Postal Service, right? So, and they actually have a method for changes. So I think that that's gonna be pretty tough, but we could, I suppose, put them on notice by executing the agreement. Yes, it's a DocuSign agreement, but perhaps, I'm not sure how to do this, but you could, I guess, print it off, sign it, cross off the indemnification, initial it, scan it back in and send it back to Adobe. I don't know if they'll accept it, because I think it's a DocuSignable document. In other words, you have to go in and sign, and I don't think there's any chance for you to cross out or anything like that. You could also do an ordinance, I suppose, accepting the agreement but excluding that clause and expressly saying that we do not agree to the indemnification. And then there's a third method, but I don't think it's the best. None of these are great solutions, quite frankly.
Shouldn't we wait to hear from the prosecutor?
Well, I think
Other people probably have the same issues.
And that's exactly what they've been doing, is the things I just mentioned.
Right, so I would recommend that we print off the document, we cross off the clause that is offensive to us, initial it, sign it, scan it, and send it back to them. And we put them on notice that we have this issue with it, and we let it go down the road. And hopefully we never have to deal with it. And if we do, then we have done our job to tell them that we don't agree with that clause.
There may be another solution. How about we pass an ordinance that says we'll indemnify Adobe, Acrobat, whoever they are, McAfee, at a sum not greater than $100.
Yeah, I mean, you have to appropriate that money. I don't know if you really want to do that. That would be, with the OAG's opinion, that would be tough.
Well, I mean, the problem we have is that we can't agree to a blanket indemnification.
Correct.
If we put a price on it, $100, whatever, then we have an amount certain that we are willing to indemnify them with. And if we provide a copy of the ordinance along with the DocuSign to Adobe, then we are okay by Ohio law. And yes, we have to appropriate it. But then that's all they're going to get if they need indemnification, which is rare.
I think there'd be an argument that because there is no amount in the contract, that's the other thing. In the contract, if they actually gave an amount, let's say, then maybe we could go the appropriation route. But there is no amount in the contract. So it includes attorney's fees and everything for indemnification, which is completely speculative, right, if there was a claim.
Sure.
So us trying to narrow it, I mean, I see what you're saying. I just don't know that it would fly with the auditor's office.
I don't know that it would fly with Adobe. They might
I'm sure
send
it
it
would.
back and say, hey, what are you kidding us?
Right. And same with even crossing out the indemnification, quite frankly, both sides usually have to initial, right, and change. However, I mean, it's one way of at least putting them on notice. Again, the chances of them with a claim, right, against the village are small, but we have to account for all of that.
Well, we can try the cost out method and see what happens.
If they come back and say, no, this doesn't work, then we have to come back with the next step. But at least we put them on notice that we actually took the time to read the agreement and said, no, this doesn't fly with us.
And surely other Ohio municipalities, or perhaps throughout the country, have noticed this problem. We are not the first, are we?
No, that's what some of the other methods were, but I will tell you that there are some that do not read the contract and just simply sign it.
Yes.
But I will tell you, yeah, some of these other
More
ways
often
of
than
doing
not.
things, it's kind of, I suppose, the alternatives that people are, municipalities are choosing.
All right, suppose we do the cross out method and there's no response from them.
I mean, as long as we get the license,
I'm not
we're
sure,
using it.
how is the cross-out method gonna work? Because usually it's when you're agreeing to the terms and conditions prior, right before you download. It's not like you send a letter and say, oh, here's a link to download it now. That's what I'm confused by.
Well, it's the DocuSign part, right? Danielle's or the mayor's signature at the end of the doc, I suppose. But if we do the printout, cross out, sign, send back, and they don't reject it, arguably, they've accepted it.
Well, we have an argument, right?
And if that doesn't work, we'll try the $100 indemnification, see what happens.
Okay,
I mean, are we in a position where we can forego using?
no, we
No.
need it.
We need it.
And is this an upgrade or is this like Adobe just in general? In other words, you don't have like I don't know, 2.0 and you're getting 3.0.
We had it on the old computers and
Right.
probably before, it was okay before we knew about the identification, right? So now with the new computers, we need to download the newer version
Newer version.
and it's onto our new computers. So right now we have to go back to the old computers. Every time we want, we have to download our stuff to a USB, take it to the old computer, try to do everything we have to do. And we do a lot of redactions, a lot of combining documents for the webs, for the council packets and everything.
Can we have ADP do the agreement with Adobe?
I asked Tracy and she said no, but she said the other municipalities do it, there's a way. So I mean, they're doing it, but nobody, I've reached out to the clerks, nobody will get back to me and tell me how they're doing
Because
it.
they all just click it.
So, solicitor, do we need a motion from council to approve this?
Well, it's an agreement, so we probably should do it by ordinance.
Okay,
Which is not drafted, right, for this, so unfortunately, that would be another month, right? So maybe,
well, I don't know, can we ask our President Pro Tem to verbalize an ordinance, since he's our language expert?
All right, I'd like to introduce an ordinance authorizing the mayor, fiscal officer, and solicitor to generate a document for the purposes of obtaining Adobe Acrobat for the village by modifying the current one provided by Adobe, such that the indemnification provision has been deleted or crossed out, initialed by the appropriate public officer, and signed and sent back to Adobe for that purpose.
Second.
Discussion.
I do have one question, and this goes back to, I think, something Chris Bell said. Usually you have to, on the DocuSigns, you have to initial all the blocks before you can download. How are we going to bypass with this scanned version the ability, because we'll still have to check the block before we can download? So I understand we're going through a lot of mental drill here, but the reality is they will probably have to have a DocuSign document before we're able to download the product. And I don't see how we get around that. Because de facto, if we DocuSign it, we have agreed to it, regardless of what we may have faxed to.
Okay.
And in the court of law, they could probably say, hey, look it.
but although the ordinance will be passed tonight, we haven't yet downloaded, right, the document.
Right.
So, I mean, you could say that at least council acted before it was actually downloaded and signed, or signed and then downloaded. So council acted with this, saying that this is the intent, which is to cross out the indemnification because we can't pound by it. And that's all, I mean, these are our options, unfortunately.
So what Mark did was an ordinance,
Yes.
so you want to declare an emergency?
Wait for the readings.
Roll call.
Wait, I need a second for waiving.
Second.
This is the way.
This is the way.
Canton.
Aye.
Kavanaugh.
Aye.
Gulicki.
Aye.
Porter. Bell.
Aye.
Berger.
Aye.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Canton.
Aye.
Kavanaugh.
Aye.
Gulicki.
Aye.
Porter.
Aye.
Bell.
Aye.
Berger.
Aye.
Ordinance is passed.
Then can we ask the fiscal officer to report back to us, it's in the September meeting, to council where the issue stands and how it has been processed?
Yes.
Thank you.
Finance, anything else?
Subject to questions of council, that concludes the report.
Okay, just a couple of comments, looking at the report from CCA. We've set our third record for the year 2024. as far as monthly collection. And we are running, of course, I'm sure you're ready.
90,000, I'm sorry, 190,000.
190,000 up.
And, yep.
As of right, yeah. So we're looking good. Danielle, did you get any feeling from your colleagues? They're all running.
I haven't gotten any feedback yet on that.
Okay. Any other questions on finance before we move on to the solicitor?
I have nothing to report.
Questions of the solicitor? Solicitor, back on July 8th, you sent out this memo about indemnification. Thank you. It made it clear.
It was about the Adobe agreement,
It's
right?
about the Adobe, trying to explain what the whole issue is here. So that was well done. Okay, our engineer, Eric.
Thank you, Mayor. I do not have any riveting reports or requests for indemnifications, but I do have a brief update on this year's road program. Specialized Construction is busy working to complete Southwick. There seems to have been a materials issue. I kind of pointed it out when they laid it down. I got a call back later from one of the heads at Specialized that said they noticed that the last two trucks, and that's also what I had noticed, the last two trucks of asphalt, the material went down, look a little bit different. We're not sure yet what's going on with it, but we're going to figure out if there's an issue, we're going to take it out and redo it before we continue. So just wanted to bring that to the attention of Streets Committee and Council. But as of right now, we are investigating and working through that issue, and it is still full steam ahead. We are proceeding with the road program.
Questions of our engineer?
Do you have an estimated completion date?
Have they talked to you about finalizing up Southwick? And I don't have a date from them.
As soon as they're finished with the area with the two trucks,
Right.
it's completed.
Yeah,
The driveways are all tied in, everything's done.
yeah. Then we have the miscellaneous base repairs to do, and we are running on track with planned quantity for those. And Tim, should I be getting with you to mark those out? I know it's your last meeting, but how long are you working?
I'll be here tomorrow and Wednesday, then I'll be gone till the 26th, and I'll be here till the 30th.
Okay, well, I'll just go ahead and mark those, and I'll keep you in the loop as to
Are
what
you
I
gonna be here
mark.
tomorrow,
I will not be here marking them tomorrow,
Wednesday?
perhaps Wednesday.
I'll meet you Wednesday.
Okay, all right, thanks.
When does school start for Sharon?
22nd.
Any other questions of our engineer? Just compliment to you, Eric. We got a couple inches of rain last Thursday night. The central retention basin was filling up, but the drain pipe by what's now the veterinarian's office, used to be the dentist's office, looked like a foot of water. Nothing.
That's the goal. Were there any other issues that you noted in the village as far as hot spots, problem areas?
I know you were out, Chief, one of your officers was out too. I didn't see anything. The floodplain, the Banner floodplain really wasn't yours, but it was working.
Okay,
And the ditch from Bell Meadow going across was fine.
okay,
Chief, did any of your officers?
We were just talking Fox Trail at Bell Road, but it was just the catch basin covered up with
debris, yeah, I can't help that, that was it.
Everything else flowed very well.
Yeah.
Peer review, everything was fine.
Yeah.
Thank you, I rely on the feedback we get after these big rain events to kind of guide us as we, move forward with
Yes.
spending money on drainage, so.
Tim's comment, Fairview also was just like a normal rain.
Okay,
Because you guys had already done the swale and all that?
correct.
Okay.
And Ralph Richards, double,
I didn't see any backup when I went by, no. Looks
It
good.
was slow. I mean,
yeah.
there's a lot of water that comes to that culvert.
I wonder what the situation was on T-Berry, the backyards there.
Oh, that's private, we don't really necessarily, I don't look at that so much.
We didn't hear anything.
You didn't hear about ponds 2, 3, and 4?
I haven't heard anything, if you haven't.
Okay, Street Commissioner, this is your last official report.
I've submitted my monthly report for July. Additionally, we received our grant check, our reimbursement grant check from Geauga County for the dumpsters for $3,500, and the check from Schwinn Falls Schools for their parking lot salt for $29.71. And Chili Coffee Road drainage will start the end of the week.
Questions of the
That's the
street?
backyard, John?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
The only thing that, on this, the month-end activity report, your one pager, there was I don't know if it's a suggestion or they want you to clean those 2 oil pits annually, which wasn't before.
The Geauga County store wastewater sent out a questionnaire that everyone is required to fill out. Well, we filled it out, noted on there that we had 2 grease pits. We periodically clean them out, and they want a schedule, and they want documentation when they're cleaned out.
So it will become annual.
Right, there's a violator would not clean their pit, and it would overflow and flow into the storm sewer, or the sanitary sewer, and they want to prevent that. This is their way to prevent it.
Can we go out and see fireworks, or is that it?
That's all I have. Thank you very much.
Okay, street committee, CT project and fee proposal.
All right, street committee. First thing, thank you, Tim. Bittersweet. It's your last meeting, but on behalf of all of us, we appreciate everything you've done.
Amen.
Thank you.
Second, streets. Today in the ordinances, as you read in your council packet, there will be something for CT consultants and for the architecture design services for the salt structure. So that is approximately $19,000. That's for the prior bid, right?
Yeah, that's
all the nut sizes.
all of the specifications and the drawings and everything that needs to be done to shop that around to get quotes for design build.
Okay, perfect.
To make sure that we get from the potential design build applicants or bidders exactly what we want.
Perfect.
We're doing 1,500 or 2,000, have we decided?
Alternate,
As an alternate? Good.
yeah, we want both.
Our next streets committee meeting is this Thursday, August the 15th at 7:30 a.m. in the street commissioner's office. Now, Tim, will you not be there then?
I will be there.
Oh, you will be there, okay.
Not for very long, but
Mark, do you have anything you want to add to the committee report?
No, thank you.
That is it for streets. Any other questions from council?
Questions of the street committee, hearing none. Building committee, Chris.
Building committee. We met last Thursday, August the 8th. Minutes are forthcoming. Tonight, there will be a first reading of the Park Pavilion Reservation Form. Upon council packet review, we saw there was some discrepancies just on the fee structure that was in there, and also some questions that the mayor had last night for the solicitor. So we'll just do a first reading tonight. At our September meeting, we'll hash out wherever these small little things are and have the revised form, if there's any more revisions other than the fee structure, for you for September. That is it for our next meeting is September the 12th at 8 a.m. over the building department. Councilman Canton, do you have anything you'd like to add?
Nothing at all.
Nothing?
Questions of the building committee? Chief, you're up.
Thank you, Mayor. I do not have a monthly report at this time. Our new software is still being configured and we cannot extract certain items. I am working with their IT group and should have something before this council meeting. I'll probably just email it to you guys. It should be within the next couple of days. Other than that, no report.
Okay, questions of the chief? Chief, I was not at Touch a Truck, but I hear it was, I think the sand pile, I heard it was one of the biggest.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. It was a good turnout and the kids did a beeline right for the loader and the sand. Nothing else was of interest to them, so it was a good turnout.
Very impressive.
Thank you.
That's the touch a truck thing?
Yeah. Other comment, Mark and I are in the same Rotary Club. I've been hearing the regrets of guys who did not come to the meeting because they heard it was one of the best Rotary meetings. They gave a drone presentation to the Rotary Club. It's fantastic.
Great.
one of the reporters has gotten on that, so probably gotten a hold of you, so.
They did, we did speak to, the reporter about the, I guess the editor was in the Rotary Club.
Yeah, he's also.
Yep.
Yeah, no, it
was a good show.
It was good.
Thank you.
All right, Safety Committee.
Okay, thank you very much, Mayor. In your packet, you found the minutes of our safety meeting July 11th. Any questions? Our next meeting will be this Thursday, 15th of August at 9 a.m. at the station. This past week, I think we all heard the tornado siren.
We did.
Several times, loud and clear. But there needs to be an update. At this time, make a motion that council vote and approve our radio upgrade, convert from analog to digital, cost of $5,720. Now, this is something the dispatch will do, right?
The IT group from dispatch will do this, yes. It's gonna be subcontracted by a company that does this type of work, but billed through CBD.
I make that motion.
Second.
Discussion.
So this is, sorry, I'm just trying to understand, this is to update the tornado siren to a digital system. And how does that differ from now, other than it's digital, not analog?
So right now, it's operating off of a repeater on East Washington Street that used to be our main communication source. It's now been abandoned, and the only item left on that system is the tornado sirens. They are looking to abandon that 420 megahertz network, and they're gonna move to the new Marks Radio network, which is 800 digital, 800 digital. So they did fix it again. They stole parts from one repeater and reinstalled it into the existing tornado siren repeater. So we're good for a little while longer, but they want to get us on the new network. That network was built in the mid-90s, so it's time for an upgrade.
I didn't realize it was a radio frequency.
What's that?
I didn't realize it was a radio frequency.
Yes.
I thought it was chief coming in.
Well, if we do have an emergency like the other day that didn't work, we do have a backup plan. We have a portable radio that we can manually engage the tornado siren, and that still will be an option, so we can actually do it right from our radios with the new system. So we'll have all those backup systems in place as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The use of the.
We have okay.
You did it first and a second.
Okay. All those, tornado sign, I jumped ahead. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes. Go ahead.
Okay, now, we have our safety department would like to use our village park at the pavilion on August 20th, 2024 for search and rescue training. The pavilion has been reserved from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. I'm making that motion. I'm asking council to vote and to approve this motion.
Second.
Discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes.
I'd like to make one comment. It was last week, right?
Yep.
My wife and I drove past the park, and there was a number of police officers and vehicles there training. And I commend the chief and the lieutenant for having signs posted that there was training. Without those signs, I'm sure that the hall would have received a number of phone calls. So good job with that.
Thank you very much.
Dennis, anything?
Thank you.
Nothing further, Jerry. Thank you.
Question to the state committee. Chief, National Night Out, is that big in the area?
Yeah, we normally participated in Geauga County with the Sheriff's Department and all the Geauga County agencies. But now the aviation unit has been called to do the one in Seoul. And so since we're part of VEG, we've been going to that one. But they were canceled due to the weather.
What's Night Out?
It's a national night where, the communities come meet, local police departments. Yeah.
Usually after dark, isn't it?
It's late afternoon. Yeah.
Okay, HR.
HR, well, first of all, let's go with the Motion to approve advertising for a part-time administrative assistant, and probably Danielle can address that better than I can. We had Deb Ladke last year.
We had a part-time administrative assistant that was supposed to work here and there as needed and cover for vacations, for the building department and admin. She was a retired clerk who started her own business, which is doing very well, so she doesn't have time to, help us anymore. So we need to get somebody in that position.
Do we have a second?
I move,
Second.
yeah.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the motion passes.
I submitted my HR report for the July 15th, when I barely had my brain back from my large trip. But it has been quite a month, and I want to thank Chris Berger and Mark and Chris Bell did the best he could to join us for these interviews. That was very time-consuming and very interesting, and we had some fabulous, very qualified people. It was a little bit hard because, Tim, we are going to miss you very much. It's too bad you got so old so fast, because I that was what took quite a bit of time, and it was very interesting. I'm glad that we had the time to do it. I'm just looking at my minutes. I hope everybody read them. And if there's any questions, is there anything else you need to add, Chris Berger, to?
We will meet Thursday, August 15th at 1 p.m.
This week, yes.
There you go.
It's HR and tell me properties, Mayor.
You're at 1 now, Chris? Okay.
Yeah, we changed it. It says 11 on the website. It's going to be at 1.
Okay. Anything else in the HR committee?
Mayor,
Sure.
issue was raised that potentially in the transition from Tim Alder to Tim Young, that there would be a gap in oversight of the street department. And given that if there is not a street commissioner in place at the time, it would fall to you. And so the concern was, how would the street department be scheduled? How would the guys know what to do, et cetera, in the event that there wasn't a street commissioner?
My plan is to meet with Tim Young Monday morning, Friday afternoon, and then to stay away. I think he needs to get in with his guys without the mayor having to show up unannounced. Tim knows, and Tim has agreed, phone calls all the time, that he would help, but I think we turned, that was basically it.
Okay.
Monday, Friday afternoon.
Okay, and I think maybe I didn't make myself clear. In the event that there is a gap between when one Tim leaves and the other Tim starts, the responsibility for that position will fall to you. And I wanted to know if you were aware that potentially you would have to step into that and how you would manage that department.
Frankly, I probably guess it would be the same way when the building department. Just, you step in, you have enough good people already in place, that, I'm not, probably being naive, I'm not worried about it, but if I gotta be there every day, or I gotta be there half the morning, in the mornings, whatever it takes.
Well, Tim has altered, he has changed his last day, if you heard him too.
Right.
Plans on being here
Right.
when.
There's gonna be a gap,
There's going to be a gap.
because I wanna work with Tim for at least 5 days. So I shifted my vacation, so I would work with him from the 26th to the 30th. But from
Come September.
this Wednesday to the 26th will be a gap.
So.
But you're on vacation, right? So they're allowed to call you.
Correct.
It's once you retire that there's no
I
contact at
cannot
all.
work for the government. I cannot be compensated from the government after September 30th.
for 60 days, right?
For 30 days?
I think it's 30.
It might be 60, I'm not sure, but I thought it was 30.
And
Anything going on.
teachers for 60, so I just presume.
Mr. Mayor, would it be advantageous to have a foreman oversee the guys for those days?
Yes, Jeff, as he's done for many years, I guess, well, since, for the last 5 years, Tim would give him a list and things get done. I think, yeah, because we talked about this in HR, but we never formalized it.
And I just think it should be formalized, as long as you have a process and that's written down somewhere and we can all follow it if you're not available. And Jeff is the working foreman in that process, that's great. That's the concern.
Tell you what, I'll get something in writing to you tomorrow. I had that also down, Jeff is foreman.
Do we know how long the gap will be? I know we don't really, right? But I mean, are we anticipating there will be a gap of a month?
2 weeks.
No.
Okay. I mean, the statute, I hate to put this on your plate, Chief, but the statute does says that you are eligible as an interim street commissioner. I'm gonna blame that. It's just something to think about.
Whatever you want.
I'll be in touch tomorrow, Chief.
He's on vacation. He's not.
You're on
No,
No, I
Tim's
know,
on
right,
vacation.
right.
All right, yeah, I just had mentally prepared myself and frankly prepared my wife for Tim leaving and me not being home.
Look at the problems you're causing.
Sorry. I should have thought it through, sorry.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Can I have the police chief if you were on?
That would work, we could do that.
Okay, anything else under the HR? All right, we are now, we're at the property. Ruth, you're still up.
Yes, I'm gonna defer to the chief. He came to our meeting last week and discussed, well, he came to the properties meeting and discussed the needs of the proposed garage for the drone mobile, is what I call it. And I just think this is exciting. I'm sorry I missed that presentation to Rotary. I bet that was really good because when I stood out there, when the guys are together, and this is some months back, this is amazing. They can look, you can go to somebody's bedroom window and look in. It's kind of Big Brother-ish, but when you're thinking of it in terms of, yes, but in terms of criminals.
How did that, good question, Des. How did that example come up?
I think you're talking about an invasion of privacy.
Somebody's bedroom.
It's the drone, we're on the drone.
This is the foyer.
Oh, I'm sorry, Dennis.
I'm disturbed.
With it, but,
This is a good question.
this is, it's about the drone mobile and we need to have a garage for it and everything with that. So, that's where the chief is gonna discuss that right now.
So we are at the beginning stages, and forgive me for my lack of knowledge on this. This is the first building I've built in my career. So we are at the beginning stages, and we are looking to hire an architect to provide us with architectural drawings. So we have 3 proposals in front of you, the lowest being the Richard Beck Company at $2,500. I think Properties was going to recommend that to council at this point.
But that you had to add the backhoe work, electric, and all should not exceed, it was closer to 2,900.
2 different projects. So the electrical upgrade is a different project, and I think Tim has the info on that. Do you have that, Andy?
Okay. I don't have it with me.
All I have is the architectural work. I think you guys have a quote from somewhere else, I'm not sure.
Just to do the boring of a conduit is right around 3,000.
Doesn't this new switch panel have to be installed? We're operating like 200 amps.
200.
Right now,
From 100 to 200.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it, quality floor.
So, yeah, different project, the part of the project, well, it's outside the project, actually. Dave Hocevar recommended that we upgrade our service to the police department building after adding that mini split air conditioner unit. We're operating at about 80% capacity. So we also have a quote for boring a 2-inch conduit from the utility pole to the station to the tune of $2,975. And if they need a backhoe, it's an extra $200. So grand total, if needed, $3,175.
So those two together, you the 2,500 plus very close to 3,000. So it's just shy.
$3,275.
So that's for the panel and the bigger cable to get the electric.
So that would be for the heavier gauge cable from the transformer on the pole underground to the station, and the other work would be, I think you guys are gonna pull the wires. Pulling the wires?
Sure.
Yeah. I think the service department's gonna handle some of that, I'm not 100% sure. Is that what you mentioned?
Yeah, they would need a backhoe, we would do the excavation if they needed excavation.
Okay.
Okay, so do I need to make a motion to,
I think the first one should be just what I was looking for is an approval to go into an agreement with Richard Beck for the architecture.
for,
So you're talking about the building, the drone building.
The actual-
We're talking about the garage,
The drone.
drone mobile.
Drone
the
mobile building.
mobile building was that, as 2,500, so that is a motion?
Yeah, I think that's completely separate.
Okay, so I make a motion that, the chief.
Excuse me,
Hold it.
the back thing is legislation, it's an ordinance.
Oh, we get it, okay.
The $2,900, is that an agreement or is it just a purchase?
That's a
Just a quote.
So that one, we just need a motion.
Okay.
So that's one we need a
And
motion.
yes, I can read it. I make a motion that, the chief can go forward with his, what am I gonna call it? Electrical work for the garage addition with Mark Dason at not to exceed 2,900, no, not to exceed 3,000. I can't do this math.
Tim said we won't need that, just the 2970.
2975, so moved.
Second.
Okay, this is basically to get us ready.
Upgrade for the electrical.
Yeah.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Architect.
Architect will come up and,
Oh, legislation, gotcha.
Okay.
Wait, Daniel, did you say the architect, does that have to be an ordinance or?
That's an ordinance, it's on the list.
I'm sorry,
That's okay,
Thank you.
too many
there's a lot.
things on my plate, okay?
Plates are overflowing. Okay, so the rest of properties, I submitted the report and, let's see, Chief already discussed the siren. And Streets Alder brought photos and specs for 2 new park trash cans that are the concrete, same as we have down there, $800 each. It came to with a little bit of change, like $1,603 for both. And we definitely need those at the park. The Eagle Scouts have done their stuff. We know that the wetlands looks rough, but in progress. And the mayor wonders would it benefit next year, this is just putting it out there, to hire temporary summer grounds help in 2025 to be determined. And we already discussed the hopeful combo of the former Fairweather Dentistry building property, and hopefully we can do that so that it will lower our taxes. That is properties. Jerry Canton, do you have anything to add?
Nothing to add, thank you.
questions of the property committee? All right, through to the Parks Committee. You're still up, Ruth. Before you go there, Ruth, a question. Who read through all these proposals from the 3 different architects? I just, are you the one that highlighted or underlined or highlighted this? You caught the indemnification again?
Yes, I did that.
And I also
Thank
spoke
you.
with him. I don't-
Yeah, somebody went through and there's not 7 pages here and they found the 2 sentences that didn't work.
Thanks to
Thank
Barry.
you. Thank you all. Okay, Park Committee, Ruth.
Parks, we're on the bathroom, and I can't wait to get this done tonight. We have, that has an ordinance too, Danielle, correct?
Correct.
We're gonna- So we will do that with ordinances, and we also have to revise the motions from February and from April to reflect the dates and times that the Spring Falls Cross Country team will be using South Russell Village Park. That's an ordinance as well.
No, that's just a
No, it's a
motion.
That's a motion, I'm gonna read it right now. I move that we revise the February and April motions to reflect the dates and times that Chagrin Falls Cross Country Team will be utilizing South Russell Village Park and Pavilion to be September 3rd, 2024, September 17th, 2024, October 1st, 2024, and October 8th, 2024, from 3 to 6 p.m. instead of 3:30 to 6 p.m. So moved.
I have a question. Is this the middle school?
Yes.
Middle school, okay.
Second.
Questions, discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes. All right. Just for your information, both Kenston High School and the Spring Falls Middle School, they were there at 7 o'clock this morning, or probably 8 o'clock this morning, having their practice.
For what, like a couple hours?
Yeah.
While mowing was going on?
No. He mowed on, he mowed on Sunday, probably waited till they dry and they raked it, I'm sure. All right, a review of the park room specifications group before we order this thing.
Okay. We have a bathroom right here. In Double Rocky Mountain, 1 minute, I need one more paper. Double Rocky Mountain bathroom. And we have, do you want me to go through? The walls are Liberty Tan. It's not gonna be horizontal siding, it's gonna be the vertical siding. Board and batten, Napa Valley stone, that the color is Mountain Blend. Hope everybody likes it. The only thing that has come up that we would like to add in addition to the $111,751 is the solar light kit at $1,200 and the solar fan kit. What I don't know is the $1,200 for one mayor or is that for two? I didn't have time to check that. Is it gonna be 24 each or 24 total?
It says quantity of two, but then at the top it says price per unit. I'm assuming it's a total of $4,800 that you're gonna have. Two lights, you're gonna have a light and a fan in both the men's and the women's restrooms.
Okay,
It'd be $4,800, it takes your price up $116,551. That's my suggestion, that you get the fan and the light.
so those were the only changes from today.
Okay, now, photograph, I see two very nice benches. I'm assuming those are not part of the deal.
Okay,
And we're gonna handle this with the ordinance. Can we do that with the increase of the,
We'll just amend the legislation.
Not to exceed.
okay.
okay. Anything else for the Parks Committee?
Parks still have to meet. Libby Sharkey has done a yeoman's job in getting people to come. Danielle's been very helpful. And I have to sign the contract with the school that we can, people can park there and be picked up and do the shuttle, which seems to work really well and doesn't give the chief as much of a headache as it has in other years, so. We're moving forward. We will have the parks meeting again very soon.
Sure, anything?
I have nothing to add.
Okay, any questions of the Park Committee? Just one comment, I mentioned that Orange had their festival in July. They did a drone show. Talking to the mayor, drone show was fabulous, cost them $10,000. And the issue was they had to wait till it was very dark. Well, they kind of made a
10
mistake.
o'clock.
In July, it was 10 o'clock before they could even start the show. But he said it was really nice. I'm meeting with the solicitor at the end of this month to look at specifications for hay rides. I guess I'm beginning to think a year from now, the fall festival may be different. Just thinking what I'm thinking. So just wanted to let you know that.
Is there any chance we may have a drone show?
Oh my God.
Like that. For $10,000.
Okay, we are public utilities.
Okay, public utilities will meet Thursday, the 15th at 8:30 a.m. here. A report was submitted with your packet. Questions?
Hearing none?
Anything else, Mark?
That's it.
Okay,
All right, we have a long list and we have a revised list of ordinance and resolutions. So let me get organized here. Okay, Mark is ready. The third reading.
I'd like to make a third reading and consider for adoption an ordinance approving the proposed agreement between Validity Landscaping LLC, DBA Artistic Solutions, and the Village of South Russell in an amount not to exceed a total of $14,862.10 for tree planting on Manor Brook Mound in accordance with the approved landscaping plan submitted by CT Consultants, authorizing the mayor and fiscal officer to execute the agreement on behalf of the village and declaring an emergency. So moved.
Okay. Refresh my memory, this is our third reading.
Yes.
We just need,
Second.
oh, yes, pardon me. Seconded by Bell. We do this roll call, we got roll call already?
Abstain.
Kavanaugh,
Aye.
Galicki,
Aye.
Porter,
Aye.
Bell,
Aye.
Berger.
abstain.
With 4, the ordinance passes. All right, moving on. Placement pages of the codified ordinances. Who wants to take this one on?
I'll do it.
All right, Ruth.
Introduce and consider for adoption an ordinance to approve current replacement pages to the South Russell codified ordinances and declaring an emergency. So moved.
Did you want to waive?
Oh, sorry, move to waive reading.
Second.
Roll call.
Canton,
Aye.
Kavanaugh,
Aye.
Galicki,
Aye.
Porter,
Aye.
Bell,
Aye.
Berger.
Aye. Move to adopt.
Second.
Canton,
Aye.
Kavanaugh,
Aye.
Galicki,
Aye.
Porter,
Aye.
Bell,
Aye.
Berger.
Aye.
Ordinance passes. Next one deals with the engineer architecture. This is a salt dump. Somebody, Chris, will take this.
Introduce and consider for adoption an ordinance approving the project and fee proposal agreement between CT Consultants and the Village of South Russell in an amount not to exceed a total of $19,000 for Criteria Architect Services for design build project delivery for new construction of a salt storage building, authorizing the mayor, the street commissioner, and/or the fiscal officer to execute the agreement on behalf of the village, declaring an emergency, and move to waive further readings.
Second.
Roll call.
Canton,
Aye.
Kavanaugh,
Aye.
Galicki,
Aye.
Porter,
Aye.
Bell,
Aye.
Berger.
Aye.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Canton,
Aye.
Kavanaugh,
Aye.
Galicki,
Aye.
Porter,
Aye.
Bell,
Aye.
Berger.
Aye.
Okay, Ruth, this is back to you for property and park.
Okay. Introduce and consider for adoption an ordinance approving the quote and agreement between CXT Inc. and the Village of South Russell for the double Rocky Mountain restroom delivery and set up for the village park in an amount not to exceed now $116,551. Authorizing the street commissioner to execute the agreement, ratifying the street commissioner's execution of the agreement on July 24th, 2024, and declaring an emergency. Move to waive readings.
Second.
Roll call.
Was that Porter? Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Campbell,
With great enthusiasm, aye.
Kavanaugh,
Aye.
Stuckey,
Aye.
Porter,
Aye.
Bell,
Aye.
Berger,
Aye.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Campbell,
Aye.
Kavanaugh,
Aye.
Stuckey,
Aye.
Porter,
Aye.
Bell,
Aye.
Berger,
Aye.
Thank you, everybody.
Ordinance is approved. Chris Bell, back to you. Cintas.
That is, what's the, not to exceed how much?
The Cintas bill. Danielle, do we have any idea?
I don't.
Usually don't. Do you, from past years, have we have an estimate, anything? It's really,
Don't remember it being that much, like $5,000 for a year in the budget hearings.
Probably.
all right.
I don't know. I didn't look at that.
6,000?
I was gonna say it's 6 and we revise it if we need to.
Yeah.
Okay, $6,000.
Introduce and consider for adoption an ordinance approving the standard rental service agreement between Cintas Corporation and the Village of South Russell for uniforms, facility services, products in an amount not to exceed $6,000, authorizing the street commissioner to execute the agreement, ratifying the street commissioner's execution of the agreement on July 16th, 2024, and declaring an emergency. Move to waive further readings.
Second.
Roll call.
Campbell.
Question. You know, I'm just wrapped up in the wording here. Authorizing the street commissioner to execute the agreement and then ratifying the street commissioner's execution of the agreement. So we're authorizing something that was already executed?
Correct.
Yes.
That's what a ratification is. It already happened.
Yeah, I understand that, but it's just the whole thing about authorizing the street commissioner to execute an agreement that he's already executed. That's where,
Yeah, we have to do
Have to
that by
approve it.
ratifying. You're exactly right.
Roll call.
Okay, Campbell,
Aye.
Kavanaugh,
Aye.
Stuckey, Porter,
Aye.
Bell,
Aye.
Berger,
Aye.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Campbell,
Aye.
Kavanaugh,
Aye.
Stuckey,
Aye.
Porter,
Aye.
Bell,
Aye.
Berger.
Aye.
Ordinance passes. Okay, this is the architect for the police station. I think, Ruth, you got this one.
Introduce and consider for adoption an ordinance approving the proposal agreement, maybe that should be proposed agreement, between Richard A. Beck and Associates Limited and the Village of South Russell for architectural services for a detached garage in an amount not to exceed $2,500, authorizing the mayor and fiscal officer to execute the agreement and declaring an emergency, and move to waive readings.
Need a second. Roll call.
Campbell,
Aye.
Kavanaugh,
Aye.
Stuckey, Porter,
that was an aye. I had a sip of coffee in my mouth.
Aye.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Campbell,
Aye.
Kavanaugh,
Aye.
Stuckey,
Aye.
Porter,
Aye.
Bell, Berger.
Aye.
Ordinance passes. Next one, Chris Berger.
Introduce and consider for adoption an ordinance amending the 2024 annual appropriations, increasing special land and building fund $92,620, general fund $1,600 even, street maintenance fund $10,000 even, and safety fund $5,720, and declaring an emergency. Waive further readings.
Second.
Roll call.
Campbell,
Aye.
Kavanaugh,
Aye.
Stuckey,
Aye.
Porter,
Aye.
Bell,
Aye.
Berger,
Aye. Move to adopt.
Second.
Campbell,
Aye.
Kavanaugh,
Aye.
Stuckey,
Aye.
Porter,
Aye.
Bell,
Aye.
Berger.
Aye.
Okay, ordinance passes. The codified ordinances. Ruth, you want to do this one too?
That one's mine.
Introduce and consider for adoption an ordinance amending Chapter 646 Parks of the Village of South Russell's codified ordinances. Move to waive readings.
This is first reading.
First reading.
First reading. Okay, next one, this is a fall festival. You want to do one, Jerry?
Sure. introduce and consider for adoption an ordinance approving the contract between Flower Entertainment and the Village of South Russell for various services for the 2024 Fall Festival, authorizing the mayor to execute the contract, declare an emergency, and suspend further readings.
Second.
Roll call.
Campton,
Aye.
Kavanaugh,
Aye.
Galiki,
Aye.
Porter,
Aye.
Bell,
Aye.
Berger,
Aye.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Campton,
Aye.
Kavanaugh,
Aye.
Galiki,
Aye.
Porter,
Aye.
Bell,
Aye.
Berger.
Aye.
Okay, Ruth, you're gonna do Gurney, the last one?
Introduce and consider for adoption an ordinance approving the facility rental application for permit non-auditorium use for the use of Gurney School parking lot for the 2024 Fall Festival to be submitted to Chagrin Falls Board of Education, authorizing the mayor to execute the application and declaring an emergency. Move to waive readings.
Need a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Campton,
Aye.
Kavanaugh,
Aye.
Galiki,
Aye.
Porter,
Aye.
Bell,
Aye.
Berger,
Aye.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Campton,
Aye.
Kavanaugh,
Aye.
Galiki,
Aye.
Porter,
Aye.
Bell,
Aye.
Berger.
Aye.
Okay, the table, the third reading, Power of a Clean Future. I will be meeting with them on Friday, September 13th. Try to get some more information, just get a little more comfort level, frankly.
I'm happy leaving the table for now and then.
Okay, yeah. Bills list, Chris Berger.
Motion to ratify the bills lists of July 15th, 2024 in the amount of $89,266.91 and July 30th, 2024 in the amount of $91,069.37.
Second.
Discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the motion passes. We have new other.
Campton.
No.
Kavanaugh,
Yes, there's a lot of tomatoes by the doors. Everybody grab one on your way out.
and Ruth, you want about the OML conference you asked about?
Yes, thank you, Danielle. I want to go to the OML conference again this year, and we had discussion that I need approval to go because I went last year, and I found it very helpful. So do we do that just by motion?
Well, I want to go too.
Well, come on,
Where is it?
Columbus.
Oh, okay.
It's 2 nights,
I mean,
October 22.
Are you going,
23.
Dennis?
well, the concept of if we went last year, we have to get approval to go again.
Well,
Where does that come from?
the HR committee is currently putting together travel policies, but that hasn't been finalized. But the policy proposal, right now, Chris Berger drafted it.
So the idea was that if you went previously, that you would go to the bottom of the list for the next year and allow someone else to, the opportunity to go. So it's simply a question, if no one else wants to go, then it's available for you to go again.
So at the moment, we could pass, consider a motion for Ruth and the mayor to attend the OML conference and being reimbursed for the same. And if there's anybody else who would like to go, they should speak up.
Speak up,
Okay, throw me on that list.
okay?
Anybody else? Okay. What's the day of the conference?
October 22nd, 23rd, 24th. No, 23rd,
23rd
24th,
to
25th.
25th.
And 2 days?
2 nights, yeah.
Okay.
So we haven't come up with this policy yet. So I'm gonna look for, maybe Hawaii has a conference coming up, Dennis, and you go to Hawaii or something like that. before they
I
pass
know
it.
it's not all it's cracked up to be.
Not right now. All right, anything else on the OML conference?
I hear it's a Lahaina. So,
There you go.
Before we go into executive session, the Ohio Township Association, or no. Yeah, it's the it's the Geauga County Township Association has a table at the county fair, and they're looking for people to sit there for 2 hours at a time. And they're looking for volunteers if you wanted to go.
Is that all you have there?
That's it.
Ruth, are you done?
Not for that one.
For your new other?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Take the tomatoes.
Okay. Making new other, Twitter new other,
Perhaps we should pass a motion for the mayor,
Yeah.
Councilman Galicki, and Councilwoman Kavanaugh to attend the Ohio Municipal League Conference for 2 nights commencing October 22nd, 2024. At a amount not to exceed, I don't know, $1,000 each?
Yeah.
$1,000 each for reimbursement purposes. So moved.
Second.
All those in discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nothing further, Daniel.
Bell, new,
No.
Burger new other.
Quick question. Is there we did the 8-minute video thing for ethics or whatever. Is there another one on security that's out there that I'm getting emails for like a 45-minute security?
Yes.
Okay.
ADP training.
That's
ADP.
so that's ADP, so that should get done.
Does that have a deadline coming up?
If you're using the computers, yeah, it should have been done, I mean, you should do that immediately.
Okay.
Is that the same training you guys sat through?
This is ADP training, it's online.
Is it the same provider that was providing it to you?
No, not the one here, this is all, a webinar online, and there's
Okay.
just,
Okay. Thank you for clarifying that, so we'll do that. Okay.
Sorry to interrupt in the middle of it.
no, that's okay.
You good? Okay, do we need a motion for executive session?
Yes.
Yes, we do. Can I have a motion to go into executive session? For the, you remember, you got the old language? Okay.
I can make a motion to enter into executive session for the purpose of conferring with the solicitor pending litigation involving the village pursuant to ORC 121.22, Section G, Paragraph 3. Request that the mayor, fiscal officer, police chief, and solicitor be invited.
It's been moved. Do we have a second? Roll call.
Canton,
Aye.
Kavanaugh,
Aye.
Galicki,
Aye.
Twitter,
Aye.
Bell, Burger.
Tomatoes.
We'll take a break,
Take some
5
tomatoes.
minutes, try to get in at 8:45.